AEW Fight Forever is coming soon, and it is now available for pre-order, but we got the first look, the cover art, we got some screenshots. I'm going to show you guys screenshots one by one and then break down some of my analysis. Really quick, though, you guys can see here the cover. We're going to enlarge this really quick. It's available on the Nintendo Switch. We know it's going to be available on all the other consoles and PC. Chris Jericho, Jade Cargill, Jon Moxley, Britt Baker, CM Punk, Kenny Omega on the cover. Honestly, there's really not much to say about this other than the fact it is exactly what I expected. A simplistic cover, a cover that is going to feature multiple talent. It's exactly what I expected, and it's something that we talked about a lot on this channel. I also want to make it very clear, the idea of them having Jade Cargill and Britt Baker was great. They are the two top female stars in this company. And then also Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, and CM Punk. I thought it was very interesting. You know, it's a 6-person cover. I don't know how many more you can add. The idea that Bryan Danielson isn't there is really intriguing to me. I thought Bryan Danielson would have been a notable name, especially for the massive casual audience who may have bought WWE video games in the past and played as Daniel Bryan. But very good decision here to go out with this cover design. I think it's simple. It works fine. You don't need to be super jazzy with it. But ultimately, I do like the cover. So the first screenshot we have is a match. I don't know if this is a hardcore match, Extreme Rules match, or what they're calling it. But you have Thunder Rosa versus Yuka, Sakazaki, and Abadaon. And, of course, Thunder Rosa is using the fire extinguisher. You guys can see in this image, it's very lit up. The arena is lit up just like a typical AEW arena. And honestly, I'm actually not here to bash the game. If you guys want a little spoiler alert, I think these screenshots look great. I don't think the character models look amazing. I don't think it has like that beefy look that WWE 2K has. But also at the same time, too, I didn't want that. I didn't want it to look exactly like WWE 2K because we all buy WWE 2K. So what would be the point of buying a video game that looks exactly like the other one? Especially when it's a wrestling game, they're both going to be very similar in that regard because of the fact that it's just a wrestling game. So the look is a little bit different, but what I'm really, really impressed by here, and there's two things I want to point out. First and foremost, Thunder Rosa has a little graphic above her thing that shows weapon buff. Now, not exactly sure how she achieved a weapon buff or what this means, but this is a detail that I am very interested in. I think this has me intrigued because it pops up as she's using the extinguisher, the fire extinguisher. And then also, if you look at her UI, the little nameplate or whatever, it shows that she has a signature. So does the weapon buff have anything to do with the signature? That is something I'm actually curious about as well. But you can look at the health bar between all three individuals, and I love this. This, to me, kind of feels like a modern-day version of No Mercy, which obviously I think Kenny Omega has said it multiple times, like they're looking at trying to bring the fun back into wrestling games. WWE 2K22 was a good game. Previous models weren't. AEW, I don't really look at this as like a competitive thing between AEW and WWE, because I think if you're a wrestling fan or if you're a gaming fan who just likes playing video games, maybe you don't even watch wrestling, I think the idea of having something that resembles back in the day, it's going to bring people together. And, you know, I actually love the UI here. I think the UI looks phenomenal. Aubrey Edwards is scanned into the game. The crowd looks pretty good. The arena looks good. I like the way it's lit. It definitely resembles the true AEW product. Now, what's the deal with the fire extinguisher? What's the deal with the weapon buff? And obviously, that is something I want to find out more about. This image right here is a screenshot of Kenny Omega hitting the V trigger on Chris Jericho. And, you know, to me, I feel like this game is going to suffer the same as WWE in terms of hair mechanics. I feel like hair mechanics was a big step up in WWE 2K22, but it was also an issue as well. Like, it wasn't perfect. So I'm looking at Chris Jericho's hair. I'm looking at Kenny Omega's hair. I'm a little bit curious to see, you know, how it's going to look in the game and hair mechanics, but then also too graphically and animation wise, as long as it's not really glitching, I don't care. I know a lot of people out there who are watching this video might actually care about these type of things. I am not going to be make or break if the hair mechanics aren't fantastic here. At the end of the day, I really care about how the game plays. Is it fun? How good is online servers? Those are the things that genuinely make me interested in a video game. But again, kind of staying consistent with the theme, the arena is very well lit. There's like a nice little contrast. And, you know, Kenny Omega's obviously got the emotions as he hits this V trigger. This is going to be really interesting to me playing it, because I think Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, you know, based on what we see, I think they look pretty good. But in terms of the physical animations going into the game, that is what intrigues me the most. And then really one thing that you got to keep in mind too is right here is just showing the AEW logo. So I don't know exactly what arenas they're going to have in AEW's Fight Forever. When I look at this game, so far from what we've seen, it doesn't really look like they've added other arenas. I'm going to assume that they are, but it's just something I've noticed in that image specifically. And then keeping up with that consistency is this final image where you have Kenny Omega doing a pinfall against Jon Moxley. And again, the crowd, you know, the lighting and everything like that, it looks good. Again, the AEW brand is felt through this image. But then if you look at the screen, you have the 1 count on the screen as well. So obviously he's making the cover. This is very reminiscent of WWE No Mercy, WWF No Mercy, and the older N64 games. I really do love the little nameplate bar, the health hub, player hub. Kenny Omega's health is at half capacity. He's player 1. I actually think this looks good. I think its overall presentation is not bad. Graphically, I didn't really have high expectations. I think the player models were some of the biggest issues here, but even that, again, it's got to be somewhat different from WWE 2K22. And AEW staying very consistent from their television product to the physical video game as well. So if you look at the video game, the one font and the color is very reminiscent of what we see on AEW Dynamite through their branding, video packages, commercials, and stuff like that. And then, of course, they have the barricades, the fans, and stuff. You can dissect who's going to be in the game by looking at the merchandise. I know a lot of people do that, but that is not something I'm interested in. So final thoughts. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I think I'm excited about the game because lately I've just been bored. Aside from making videos or hanging out with friends and stuff like that, I have not played video games in several months, which is so strange. It's not WWE 2K22's fault. It's not anything like that. I just feel like during the summer, I've been out so much more, being preoccupied, good weather and things like that, where I've kind of been bored with video games. And it's not just Call of Duty. It's not just Madden or FIFA or WWE. I mean, literally, I just feel like video games kind of got boring. This video game is expected to launch in a couple months. I believe the placeholder date was December 31st. That's probably not going to stick. Maybe it will. But for me personally, as somebody who is interested in getting the game, I'm excited to see what happens here. I think, the winter could be a really bad time in Michigan, obviously, because of the snow and the weather and everything being terrible. So if this game is good, I'll probably be playing it a lot, probably going live on Twitch. So if you guys aren't following me on Twitch, make sure you guys do that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.